Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead. We're going to look back and discuss the first half / part 1 of the final season of The Walking Dead. We're going to talk about 11A and what are the good and bad moments from the half season. Alright guys, this is going to be doing another video today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead. It has been a long time since we have done a good and bad video on the channel, so I figured it's a good time to go ahead and do one, which is going over The Walking Dead 11A and talking about the good and the bad of the first 8 episodes of the final season of The Walking Dead. I know you guys enjoy these videos. If you've been a subscriber to the channel for the past few years, you'll know I used to do a lot of these good and bad videos where I would rank stuff and talk about the good and the bad, be that character evolutions or, seasons of shows. I used to do that a lot back in the day. But we're going to do it for 11A, and I'm sure the question's already going to come up. Dan, will you be doing this for 11B? And the answer is we definitely will. Give it another week. We'll do this for 11B as well, too. But today we're just going to focus on 11A and what is the good and the bad of this half season. And by the end of the video, we're going to determine whether or not there is more bad or if there's more good. So obviously, stay tuned because it's probably going to be a bit more of a lengthier, video. We're going to go in depth and we're going to talk about it. So anyway, let's get started. And I guess the best way to do it, let's get started. Let's talk about the good of 11A. First thing from 11A that is good is the Maggie and Negan storyline. So obviously, this is a storyline that, we kind of watched throughout the entire half, and I really enjoyed a lot of what they did there because it's realistic. The way Negan kind of reacts to some of Maggie's decision-making, as well as Maggie's response to Negan after all these years. This is realistically how somebody would act, and this is realistically how they would rub off on each other. And I think they created some really interesting scenarios. She points a gun at his face, he gets mad at her, then she's in a situation where she's about to die, he decides to not save her and decides to run away. That makes Negan look bad when Maggie returns, but then she does a terrible decision 2 seconds later by leaving Gage. Meanwhile, Maggie says, we don't have the ammo to clear them. Negan is sitting there like, hey, give me a hand. So it kind of tells you that there's no one more evil than the other person. They both make horrible decisions. And the way they kind of interact, and I think their dialogue back and forth, some of the best of this half season. I mean, in particular, when she asks Negan, would you have done things differently? And he says, yeah, I would have killed every single one of you. I really enjoy the back and forth and the little bits of detail that they put in there because Negan is so brutally honest, and I think that's what really creates an interesting dynamic between the two of them. That is for sure a good plot of 11A. Next up is the Reaper's introduction. So obviously I cannot count the Reapers as a whole. However, when I'm talking about the Reaper's introduction, I'm in particular talking about from episode 2 to episode 3. Those 2 episodes getting hunted by these people with masks on in the dark, seeing the streets full of people that have been, hung. That is some amazing stuff. Not to mention, they wiped out literally almost all of Maggie's crew. They did some damage. I think they were a really scary group to start. Number 3 is the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth was an absolute success on the TV show, at least when it comes to the beginning portion. I really enjoy the interview process and the scenes between Mercer and Eugene when he kind of breaks them down, but Eugene doesn't break. And not only that, we see a lot of really interesting dialogue, I think. Also, the Commonwealth visually, from a first impression, I think they did a really good job on it. I still think that the budget kind of hurts it at times, but the visuals, at least based off of what we do see and what we do get, I think is very, very well done. I like the Commonwealth armor in the TV show. I think Mercer's, appearance visually as well too, and just as a character was really good. And that's another reason why the Commonwealth is a really positive thing in 11A is because we get characters like Lance, who was very intriguing in the first half. We don't know much about him, but he's very intriguing to start. Mercer is really cool, and he's definitely standing his ground, though. I think there's a lot of really interesting characters, even down to Sebastian, what a little shit. But at the same time, we feel what we're supposed to feel, angry towards him. That is a success, if you ask me, when it comes to a storyline. Absolutely 100% success. Next good thing from 11A is the legacy characters. So I really enjoy a lot of what they did in this half season with Judith and what they did with a lot of our characters. I really enjoy having, scenes with, little Glenn, little Rick, and like little Aaron, and little scenes like this. And I think they really did a good job. And I think the scenes in particular where, you kind of focus in on Judith and how much she misses her mom and how much she misses Rick and Carl. And, you really start to feel like she is really on her own. I mean, yeah, there's Uncle Daryl and there's, things like this. But I think Kaylee Fleming, along with the actor that plays little Glenn, little Herschel, that is, and Gracie, I think they had some really interesting on-screen, chemistry. I think they had some really, really good, dialogue back and forth, and I think they were really good when, they were in scenes together. I think it's really cool. And of course, it's always cool to see the kids of the characters that we love so much, watching the show, and now they're interacting and they're having their own scenes, and I think that's really, really, really cool for them to do. So really enjoyed that a lot. The next good thing from 11A is the Connie and Virgil storyline with the cannibals. This was absolutely incredible. I mean, they really started to get you to actually start to care for Virgil instead of wanting him to die. Second of all, it was really nice to see Connie again, and in the circumstances that we saw her in, and seeing, these creatures slash human cannibal things or whatever coming after them in the house, I mean, that was some grade A, just scary shit. I mean, I'll put it that way. It was some scary shit, and I think they did a great job with it. And the final good thing from 11A, this is the last one I got, is the action. Unbelievable action this half season. One of the biggest reasons why I enjoy 1108 is because of the action. Seeing Maggie drive that truck through, seeing Daryl kill the one guy when he hands him the smoke and then murders him straight up just like that. The scenes where Maggie's getting hunted down in 1103, and the chasing scenes, and 1 second Maggie sees that Alden's there, boom, he gets tackled to the ground. Maggie has to fight one, Alden has to fight one, Negan has to fight one, they're throwing grenades, boom, they're getting out of there, they're running, all of a sudden one of Maggie's people gets shot. I mean, it is so well done, I think, the way they do this, and it's one thing from this half season that is so amazingly done is the action scenes. Not only to mention the scene with Rosita where she's out there in 1108 killing the dead, she walks back in like an absolute boss. I mean, certain scenes like that really is incredible. And even, the introduction scene to this half season too, when they're getting the, the rations at the military compound or whatever, you got a really interesting fight with the walkers, I think they really did a good job with that. And I think the action is one thing that they absolutely nailed this whole half season. I can't think of a time where I saw action and I was like, no, I don't like that. They really did a good job with the walker kills, the action versus the Reapers when we saw them, the fight scenes, everything, every part of that was absolutely fantastic. So that's the good of 11A. Now let's switch things up and talk about the bad.
Your brothers are dead! Are you not ashamed? Or do you think this is acceptable?
So the first bad thing of 11A is going to be Maggie's group. So, Maggie's group. Now, why do I not like Maggie's group? Well, I'll tell you. They introduced some really intriguing characters. Characters like Duncan, characters like Cole, characters like, well, Agatha wasn't the greatest, but, she probably could have become something. I don't mind that the Reapers killed some of Maggie's people. I actually like that. It kind of pushes the feeling of vengeance more, But at the same time, I feel like they wasted a lot of characters. Characters like Duncan or, Cole really could have became something. I even thought at a point that Cole would have become a love interest for Maggie. I mean, was I thinking too far? Because honestly, I kind of felt like, given enough development, I feel like that actually would have been cool. He's kind of her protector. He's really good at what he does. And yeah, we have Elijah for that. But, honestly, maybe I should have fixed this list sooner because Elijah is a bad thing from 11A. And dang it, I didn't put him in this list. But, Maggie's group as a whole, I guess that just includes Elijah as a character as well too. Very disappointed. They're either all dead or they suck. So, I mean, it's that simple. And I think they really could have done better with that. Second bad thing from 11A, Leah. I'm sure we could all agree on that. Leah was awful. Absolutely awful. They told us that she was a badass, back in the day, she was part of, the military, Pope's family, and whatever. She was a Mern, I think, or whatever. And I never once saw a scene with those skill sets being used. I never saw her going out there fighting like that. They always told us, but we never saw it. A good example is in 11B when Carver kicks Maggie and Elijah and Negan's ass. When was Leah ever given a scene like that where we could actually see why she's so strong? We never saw that. Not to mention, the character contradicts herself, the way she treats Daryl, and the way she looks at Pope and the rest of them as family when they were about to lock her into a trailer and light it up. I think that character really failed, and not only to mention, she finally gets the guts to kill Pope in the mid-season finale. And she then chickens out and says, you know what? I killed Pope, but these are my people. So Daryl, you better get out of here, because I just placed the blame on you. Horrible character. Absolutely horrible character. I think Lynn Collins did a good job, but the actual character, the writing was awful. Speaking of writing that's awful, number 3, Pope. My biggest pet peeve with 11A. Holy shit. I mean, awful villain. Awful, awful villain. I don't know what it was they were trying to do with him. I don't know what point they were trying to get across with the goofy, curly mustache, the glasses, the hat. I mean, seriously, like, I don't even know what to say about this character. I really don't. He is an awful villain. He's not scary. When does this motherfucker ever wear a mask? First of all, where the fuck is his mask? Second of all, he's not intimidating. And let's elaborate on that. He is not intimidating whatsoever. When I look at this dude, I do not get scared. Third problem with Pope. He also does not know what he wants. 1 second he views his people as soldiers, the next moment he looks at them as family, and the next moment he looks at them as like it wasn't his problem, One moment he wants to save all his people because it's all he has left. The next moment he wants to fire arrows down and kill all of them just because he wants to get rid of the dead inside of his walls. I mean, this guy contradicted himself all the time, not to mention he brought in Leah's boyfriend that came from your enemy. Bullshit. I mean, bullshit. I do not care if you saved Leah, who you also tried to burn inside of the trailer with Daryl. I mean, this guy can't get anything right, and it literally hurts my brain because we're supposed to be afraid. We're supposed to be scared of this guy, and all I keep doing is thinking that he looks like Super Mario. Point made. Okay. Next up. Number 4 bad thing from Season 11, the Whispers reintroduction. Holy fuck, what was the point of this? I mean, unless this goes somewhere in 11C, this is absolute filler. This has no effects on the storyline whatsoever. They reintroduce the Whispers when they go back to get tools from Hilltop, and literally it's just a guy that gets his hand chopped off because Aaron's pissed off, and they just leave them be. They just leave them live. They just let them be. Even though the guy just tried to attack you, okay? So, I don't understand any of that. I don't understand why they ever brought the Whispers back. If you ask me, Season 10, Episode 16, when they threw that mask off of the hill, and you've got this beautiful shot of the mask falling off the cliff or whatever, that to me told me it's a closed book. The story is done, But instead, we have to deal with another episode where they're attacking our characters, they're lying to our faces, and all they're good for is to tell us that Connie's alive, even though we already knew that as viewers. So it's not like that's new information to us. That's only new information to Carol. I think the Whispers reintroduction was an absolute waste of time, and they should have never done it. It honestly makes 0 sense. Now, coming in with my 5th problem with 11A, the Reaper's masks. So, I cannot honestly talk about this enough. I mean, this was one of the worst things about this half season, if you ask me. Early episodes, before we knew who any of these people were, they were wearing these freaky masks, all unique, by the way. One had like a skull one. Leah's was like red and had like a cool line that came down. I mean, it was really, really awesome. And all of a sudden, now that Daryl's rolling with them, and now that we revealed that Leah's with them, and now that we've revealed, Pope, all of a sudden in 1106, when they venture out, they don't wear their masks. They're just walking around like it's any other day. I mean, can somebody explain to me why they don't wear their masks, because the way I look at this is they were only doing this so Leah would not be revealed. And not only that, because, I mean, think about it. She's revealed, and then they never wear these fucking masks again. Not only that, Daryl then joins the crew, and I can guarantee you this, probably because, I mean, let's be honest here. The way AMC treats Norman Reedus, they're probably like, all right, Your Highness, you know, you don't want to wear a mask. It's okay. You know, we've already revealed Leah anyway, so let's just have you guys venture out and, you know, just walk like normal people. I mean, it literally was part of what made them so scary at the beginning. Like, it was already enough of a tone change to have Super Mario running your crew. But then when you go out there on runs, you don't have your masks on at all. You keep it on your side like that. I'm like, is that supposed to freak me out? Am I supposed to be scared of these guys? Because I can't say I am. I mean, that's part of their gimmick, if you will. That's part of what made them so scary in episode 2 and episode 3. When they take the masks off, they just look like a bunch of idiots dressed in black. I mean, they don't look scary at all. They really don't. So the masks is a huge issue, in particular because Pope never had a mask. That's the biggest problem with that. So that's absolutely horrible. And now we got 2 left. Number 6 is the clearing buildings / Stephanie arc, okay? So I'm going to combine these together because Stephanie was the one / I guess what's her name now, Shira. She was the one that got them caught on the radio to begin with, and we know that now. Hence them having to clear these buildings for the Commonwealth once again. Horrible plot. Absolutely horrible plot. They have to get tested again. They have to show their skills again. And they have to, you know, listen to what Mercer and the Law or whatever is saying. Horrible plot, especially before a mid-season finale. And Shira really pisses me off now, especially since she was, you know, a undercover agent, pretty much. I mean, that's basically what she was. Horrible, horrible storyline. And last but not least, number 7, the biggest flaw with The Walking Dead 11A, or at least one of the ones that I feel like is really bad, and this is just an overarching problem, the lack of knowledge. Holy fuck. I mean, seriously. I'm talking, why does Pope want Maggie dead so bad? Why did this whole conflict begin? Where is Georgie? I mean, they talk about her a million times. Where is Georgie? Why does Pope accept Daryl into the group? And why does Leah flip on Daryl? And why do the Reapers want our crew dead so bad? And why does Maggie want our crew dead so bad? I mean, it is such a messy half season when it comes to the knowledge and knowing why the Reapers were the way they were and why they took the food from Maggie and why they wanted us dead so bad. I mean, I still don't understand any of the reason why this conflict went down to begin with. So that's my biggest flaw, because the lack of knowledge and entertainment is your biggest, like, you gotta know. Like, you gotta know why things are the way they are. And if you don't, or if you're missing information, use 11A as an example to this. It really makes the Reapers and the storyline that you're telling not interesting. Nobody cares because we don't know the history. We didn't see it through flashbacks. We don't know what happened to Georgie. And it literally could have been a simple fix. I mean, seriously, you could have made it to where you see on those trees outside of their walls, Georgie, the twins, and her people have been killed too. And you could get a really raw reaction to Maggie. Plus, us as the viewers would then know where in the fuck she went. I mean, where is Georgie? Where are these characters? Why do the Reapers want our characters dead so bad? Why does Maggie want our characters dead so bad? Why did this entire conflict go down the way it did? Does not make any sense. So that is the good and the bad of 11A, The Walking Dead. Sadly, there are a few more pieces of bad than there are good, and that is unfortunate. However, it's a pretty good half season. I think it has its share of both, to be honest. But that is that, guys. That's 11A. Definitely make sure to give a like on this video if you want to see a video for 11B, because I'll go ahead and do it. Give it a few more days. We'll do this for 11B as well, too. But that is it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Write your comments in the comment section below. And of course, guys, if you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't dump some of my videos for The Walking Dead. Follow Dan's Walking Reviews, subscribe, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another video for The Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
We will tell you who you're going to be from now on.